You like your hair?
Oh.
Yeah? Wow. Ooh, cool kid. Cool kid. Well, you're messing it up with the brush. Hey loves. Welcome to my son's curly hair routine. In today's video, I'll be washing, detangling, and styling my toddler's curly hair. I'll also be including some practical tips for mamas and papas too, so stay tuned. This is my son's hair. It's the end of the week and his hair is pretty dry and tangled as you would expect from a toddler. So outside of turning on the shower, the easiest way I found to wet his hair is to fill a cup with clean water and tip his head back while pouring the water on his hair. Now it takes his hair quite a while to get wet, so I have to do multiple passes. And now it is time for the shampoo. So I'm using a detangling shampoo, but I highly recommend trying a tear-free shampoo just in case it gets in your child's eyes. Thankfully, this has not happened to me, but I do plan on switching over. If any of you have any suggestions of moisturizing, tangle-free shampoos, let your girl know. Sometimes he gets curious and he likes to touch his hair. I think that's so cute. I also like to keep a towel or a little t-shirt nearby so that I can make sure product doesn't get in his eyes. Does anybody else love when their kid looks up at them? I get the feels every single time. Alright, so rinsing the hair can be tricky. I actually have a detachable shower head, not sure why I didn't use it, but if you don't have one, I recommend leaning them back and pouring the water through their hair just like you did the first time. Applying conditioner is probably the most important step because this is when I detangle. I find it's best to work in smaller sections while holding the roots and raking my fingers through the hair. Now this step, it takes a while, but it's necessary. And trust, your child will probably let you know if it hurts. My son is not shy. Yes, he is definitely alpha. He's like, nah, B. Oh, look at his little curls. Oh. So he has about 3 different curl patterns in his head, and he actually has a strip section in the back middle of his head that doesn't really curl at all. This is why I prefer to use my fingers to remove tangles and knots. With a comb, it's difficult to feel where the hair can pull, and with my fingers, I can be a lot more gentle and cause less breakage. Rinse the conditioner out. Swivel chairs are incredibly helpful for positioning a child's head during styling. So alright, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a toy, a game, a snack, something to keep them occupied. My son likes to eat. So here's what you'll need. A light to medium gel, jelly, or custard, a leave-in conditioner, and a spray bottle on deck. Use that spray bottle to re-wet the hair if it gets dry. Now first apply the leave-in conditioner and make sure you get to the roots as well. Now use your fingers to section off a small section of hair. It's going to be so much easier to work in smaller sections. It's so much more effective. Then use a clip to keep the additional hair out of place. And then just take your fingers and rake it through each section until you get all of the tangles and knots out. Next, layer your medium hold styler on top of the leave-in. Now I'm going to keep this part in real time so that you can follow what I'm doing. I'm simply raking the product through the hair gently. Depending on the density, or some would say thickness, of the hair, you may need to use more or less product. So just keep that in mind when you're working with your particular child's hair. This part is optional, but you can try using a Demon-like brush to get the curls to clump. Just make sure that you use the other hand at the roots so that you don't pull the hair out. Now this time around, my son was not having it. This brush tends to pull much harder than using my fingers, and he was like, no, mommy, no. So here's the results from a previous time when I used the brush.
The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
To be perfectly honest, I prefer using my fingers. It's much gentler, it's much faster, and my son prefers it. Now, if you end up using your fingers, you will get a little less definition. So if you're cool with that, I think that it's a good option. Again, mist the hair when it starts to get dry. Please don't try this on dry hair. It's most likely going to cause a lot of pain and frustration for both you and your child. Natural hair when styling, it's just best when it's moist. And you're just going to repeat the previous steps in small sections all over the head. Now sometimes after detangling, I still find more knots. That is the reality of having an active child for most of us. So he actually gets more knotting on the looser patterned hair than anywhere else. My hair is similar because these strands are typically a little finer. Now many times the cause of this knotting is shed hair, or in this case, a piece of lint that has wrapped its way around his strands. Yes, he tends to rub his head in his pillows and sheets, and you know, this is just the reality of having natural hair if you don't cover it up at night. So this section of hair is a lot drier and it doesn't curl as easily. So I typically have to go a little heavier with the product application so that I can get a somewhat uniformed result. And that's my toddler's wash and go curly hair routine. Now stay tuned because I'll show you how I refresh it in the morning. Now my son will not keep a headscarf on at night, so typically I have to chase him down with a spray bottle of water and apply a spray oil on top. Then I fluff his hair and he's ready to go. So that's it. I love you guys. Check out my videos on the right hand side, binge watch, and I will see you in a few days. Mwah! You're welcome.